Good afternoon, I said. That's right, it's time for another member of the greatest advisor of all time. Look at that beautiful crew to give another stellar speech. And so, welcome to Ethan Fender's senior speech. This afternoon, Ethan would like to recognize his special guests, Melissa Fender, his mother, Carrie Fender, his father, and the Fender we all love best, Aubrey, his sister, on whom I could give an entire introduction as well. Also in attendance are longtime friends from Savannah, Robbie Todd and William Thompson. Let's welcome Ethan's guests. Ethan and I go way back. You could say he's one of the OGs of the advisory group. I've worked or coached Ethan for 7 years. In fact, you guys will remember, you've already seen this. Okay. Yeah, remember that guy. Okay. But this isn't the entire picture. Would you like to see the entire picture? Yeah, of course you do. Brace yourselves. That guy on the right. And that is essentially how I remember Ethan Fender. Well, that's not exactly fair. You can't remember a kid who was a tall, strapping gentleman as he was when he was an awkward sixth grader. So this pic is from a few years later when Ethan was an eighth grader and an integral part of the middle school championship soccer team. Yeah, so he grew up a little bit. Weird side note, would anyone ever have predicted this, added to this, would ever become this? I certainly didn't see it coming all those years ago. Since then, Ethan has managed to become involved in campus life as well. He was captain of the varsity soccer team last year. He's a vice president of the Thespians and has had multiple roles on stage. He's a member of the student section club. He sings in the chorus and was a member of the GISA State Quartet Championship group last year. Finally, I find it quite fitting that many of my pictures of Ethan involve his friends. The second one, on the right, it was kind of a surreal moment this past summer to randomly bump into Ethan and that guy, Sullivan, at a soccer game in Charlotte, North Carolina, realizing that it was the beautiful game that brought Ethan and I together all those years ago. So it was kind of a full circle moment for me. And while it might be a little sappy, perhaps a little cliche to say, I know Ethan has a beautiful future ahead of him. I've been blessed to watch the journey this far. So help me in welcoming Ethan to the stage. He discusses something extremely important to him.
Before I start my speech, I would like to thank you to Mr. Lutz for the amazing introduction and for being a great advisor, coach, and teacher since I started here at the school. I would like to thank my parents for all the love and support that you have shown me and help you have given me. I would like to thank my friends for making me drive here from Savannah to make my speech, and I would like to thank all of you for being here. Now, on to my speech. What if I told you that there is something that can help you maintain your physical health, reduce your stress levels, and even help you live longer? I'm not talking about exercise, a special diet, or even prescriptive medicine. Fortunately, I was given this gift from a very young age. So young, in fact, that I can't even remember receiving it. This gift took hold of me from just a few months old and has not let me go since. I have been given countless lessons and memories for which I will forever be grateful. It has affected me more than I will ever know, and I don't know where my life would be without it. This amazing thing is friendship. Merriam-Webster defines friendship as, quote, the state of being friends. That doesn't give you much help though, does it? So instead of leaving you with a basic definition, I'm going to talk about the steps required to not only start a friendship, but how it impacts the lives of those involved for the better. Jeffrey Hall, a professor of communication studies at the University of Kansas, performed a study on how long it takes to become acquainted with someone and how much time it takes to grow that relationship into a This study was conducted using first-year college students who were surveyed every 3 weeks for the first 9 weeks of the semester. These students had arrived on campus no more than 2 weeks before the study began. This stipulation was added to make sure that the students had not made any friends in town before the 3 weeks started. Stage 1 is a casual friend. As students on campus started to meet people such as roommates and classmates, acquaintances began to form. According to the research, this is when two people spend at least 43 hours together within the first 3 weeks of meeting each other. These friends spend the majority of their time walking to and from classes, eating meals together, and just hanging out when not in classes. These friends have a long way to go, though, if they want to enhance their friendship. Stage 2 is labeled a friend. I bet it took a lot of brain power to come up with that one. Following the first stage, there's about a 50% chance that in the second round of surveying, students will identify themselves to have made a friend. This stage has a required time spent together of about 57 hours, as opposed to the original 43. Although it may not seem like a large increase, that would be 4 hours and 40 minutes or more on top of the almost 15 hours per week spent together that was recorded in the first stage. During a busy college life, with classes, clubs, and possibly sports, this is a lot of additional time to spend with someone who the participants may only have known for 6 weeks up to this point in the study. The third and final phase is becoming close friends. These friends spent over 119 hours together over the final 3 weeks of the study. To put that into perspective, these friends spent a whopping 39 hours and 40 minutes together per week during this phase. Keep in mind that time reported together does not include classes or times of work. It is strictly limited to free time. These friends reported spending over 1/3 of their time together walking to classes with one close friend. These students also showed higher amounts of time spent together in the earlier stages and seemed to consistently double their time together at each entry point. Now that you know how much time it takes to form these close friendships, you should also realize that this level of relationship not only takes the time put into it, but a lot of effort as well. The people involved have to be compatible with each other and have to be willing to stay in touch through the conflicts and busy schedules. This same commitment was seen on a different scale when in 1938, Harvard University embarked on what would become the world's longest study on human happiness and health, a study which spanned an astonishing 80 years. According to the Harvard Gazette, quote, scientists began tracking the health of 268 Harvard sophomores in 1938 during the Great Depression. After following the surviving Crimson men for nearly 80 years, researchers have collected a cornucopia of data on their physical and mental health, end quote. As of 2018, when the study was completed, 19 of the original members of the study were still living. Fun fact, one of the members was named John Fitzgerald Kennedy. You should recognize that name, as he went on to become one of the most famous presidents in United States history. Over the decades, the researchers evaluated the participants' health trajectories as well as their careers, marriages, and their broader lives as a whole. This study, along with many others on the same subject, had concluded that friendship improves sense of belonging and purpose, boosts happiness and reduces your stress, improves your self-confidence and self-worth, helps you cope with traumas such as serious illness, job loss, or the death of a loved one, encourages positive lifestyle habits such as exercising and avoiding excessive drinking, improves heart health, reduces risk of stroke, and increases function of the immune system. Let's explore these last 3 points a little further. Friendship induces a sense of peace and joy and often evokes laughter, all of which are responsible for producing chemicals in the body known to reduce stress. Stress is known to release adrenaline, which can damage the heart and the surrounding blood vessels. When flooded with large amounts of adrenaline, the small arteries that supply the heart with blood constrict and temporarily reduce blood flow to the heart. And we all know that a lack of blood flow to the heart probably isn't ideal. Additionally, a study by Oscar, Marquides, Peake, and Goodwin shows that friendship produces happiness in their test subjects. The subjects who showed higher levels of well-being were examined after being surveyed and showed higher amounts of blood flow to the brain. A stroke is induced by the slowing of blood flow to the brain. This, in turn, meant that the happier subjects had about a 26% lower chance of experiencing a stroke. Further emphasizing the direct correlation between friendship and happiness, a study by Stone et al. Tested the tenacity of the human immune system. The study consisted of participants ingesting a pill that activated the immune system. The pill is not harmful, however. The body just perceives it as something that needs to be dealt with. The participants who felt happiest when surveyed showed higher amounts of antibodies in their saliva to combat the effects of the pill. As you can see, friendship lends many physical and mental benefits to a person's life. As I stated earlier in my speech, I have had the great honor of having two lifelong best friends. These two weirdos are in the back of the theater right now. Their names are William Thompson and Robbie Todd. However, that is rarely what they are called, as we have an extensive history of unique nicknames, the most popular of these including Baby Back Wibs, or Wibs for short, Wheat Thins, which is my name, Whoopi, and Tuna Toenail, which belongs to Robbie's younger brother Tanner. All of these names are still in use today. My best friends have been with me through all of these stages of friendship, as far back as daycare at 6 months old with William, and soccer at 3 years old with Robbie. They have supported me through the best times, the worst times, and most definitely, the smelliest times. These times include traveling here to Augusta from 2 hours away in Savannah for fun weekends to celebrate my birthday or to cheer me on during soccer matches. They have traveled to other areas as well to watch from the sidelines as I played football. Together, we have taken many trips to professional soccer matches, Carowinds, Six Flags, indoor skydiving at iFly, and college sporting events as well. This past February, my family and I suffered our greatest loss to date with the sudden passing of my grandfather. We made the almost 3-hour trip to be with my Nana and the rest of our family as we laid him to rest. When we pulled into the cemetery for the graveside funeral, I didn't expect it, but who did I see? None other than William and Ronnie standing there waiting to comfort me. I can't tell all of you how much of an immeasurable difference it made having my two best friends at my side. As you go through life, have those friends, and be those friends yourselves. I believe Harvard professor of psychiatry, Robert Waldinger, said it best, with the quote, "Taking care of your body is important, but tending to your relationships is a form of self-care too." That, I think, is the revelation.